New class. Please join us right here. Sunnahfollowers presents a wonderful new class to add to your Islamic education. Sins of Disbelief, taught by Ustada Layla Nashiba, streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers.
Our way of life is not based on anyone's opinion. Our way of life is not based on science, technology, or theory. Our way of life never changes. Our way of life is only based on two things: what Allah said to us in that Quran and how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us to implement that Quran in our life. That's it. Okay, here we go. Here's another question before I get started. Let me see if you guys can answer this question. Let me put this brother's question on the screen. This brother Ahmed, he says, I have a new friend who is from the Nation of Islam, and he invites me to come to their meetings and tells me that one of the best teachers is Louis Farrakhan. He's one of the best Muslim teachers. Okay, this is the first question. Let's see how you guys answer that. First of all, is the Nation of Islam, are these people Muslim? That's number one. Number two, is Louis Farrakhan a Muslim teacher? Then number three, should any Muslim have anything to do with the Nation of Islam and Louis Farrakhan? Who would like to answer this question? And when you answer, give your evidence. The evidence is basing everything you say on what Allah says in the Quran and what the Prophet Muhammad said, because you all should know this. Who would like to try? In other words, you're going to say why.
Okay. I want to try.
Let's start with, okay, wait a minute, since you're a new Shahada, let me start it one by one. Okay, this person's question is, he has a friend who's from the Nation of Islam, who's inviting him to their meetings. First of all, should this person be his friend? Yes or no? Go ahead.
No, ma'am.
Okay,
no, ma'am.
Now tell us why this person should not be his friend.
Because we shouldn't be associated with non-Muslims.
Okay, so the answer is no. First of all, you shouldn't have this person as your friend. And she gave the reason being because as Muslims, our friendships should not be with non-Muslims. That's number two. Number three, even though this person says he's uses the word Islam and Muslim, is he a Muslim? Is he practicing Islam? And explain why.
No, ma'am, because they don't believe in the Prophet Muhammad. They believe in Elijah Muhammad, who's a man.
Exactly.
Not our prophet.
They don't believe in the Prophet Muhammad, number one. They follow Elijah Muhammad, who was a man that died back in the 60s. Number two, they don't believe in the Quran. They don't believe that the Quran is the words of Allah sent to the Prophet Muhammad. They believe that the Quran is a book written by some black man who's a scientist, who's in a spaceship. Number three, they believe that the Quran was written for Elijah Muhammad. Okay, not for anything that it was written, none of that. So, this is not Islam. These people are not Muslims. They're not Muslims at all. They don't know nothing about the Prophet Muhammad. They don't know nothing about Abu Bakr, Umar, anything. They don't believe in nothing. That they don't believe in the pillars. They don't believe in the articles of faith. They don't practice none of that. This is a racial group. Who is Louis Farrakhan? Louis Farrakhan is a black supremacist. What is that? That ain't got nothing to do with religion. He's a black supremacist. He believes that the black man is superior over the white man, that the white man is the devil. These people have nothing to do with Islam. They don't pray 5 times a day. They don't fast the month of Ramadan. They don't do anything that we do. They don't enjoin the good. They don't forbid the evil. Okay? So these people should not be your friend. And Louis Farrakhan is not a Muslim teacher. He's a black supremacist. Okay? So you with the wrong people. You have to be careful of that. All right, Brother Ahmed? Leave these people alone. These people are not Muslims. All right? They don't believe La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. They have no allegiance to Allah, to the Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah, nor to the religion of Islam. Their allegiance is to Elijah Muhammad and to the black race. They're black supremacists. Okay, so stay away from those people. And by the way, this is an example of disbelief. Anyone who adopts an ideology or a way of thinking or a lifestyle that is in total opposition to what Allah commands us to live by, these people are not Muslims. These people are unbelievers. Even though they speak Arabic, even though they may say that they are Muslim, because they don't know what it means anyway. Be careful. Everybody understand that? Okay, any questions about that? And these people are making a big comeback today. I noticed that the Nation of Islam, they're making a real big comeback. And that's another one of the signs of the last hour. Man, they making a heck of a comeback. They were kind of quieted. They were kind of shut down and quieted during the 70s and 80s. But here they are back in full force today. Okay, Sister Sophia, do you follow the Imams of Philadelphia? Or do you follow La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah? A lot of people came from being prostitutes. A lot of people converted to Islam who used to be drug addicts. A lot of Muslims converted to Islam who were rapists, who were murderers. What does that have to do with La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah? Where does Allah say because before you were a Muslim, you were a kafir that used to rob banks, that we give homage to people who rob banks? We guys have to get with it. This is why Allah has sent this war. This is why we are messed up as a nation. It doesn't matter if you came from a prison. It don't matter if you was a Christian, a Jew, a scumbag. Once you declare La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, that's what brings you into Islam. And now you have to spend your life submitting. Sister Sophia, submitting to the laws of Allah. Most African Americans used to be with Elijah Muhammad. What that got to do with anything? Most African Americans used to be slaves. Most African Americans were stripped of their manhood. What does that have to do with you being a Muslim? Y'all got to let go of that. The bottom line, the Nation of Islam are not Muslims. They do not believe La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. They do not believe in the articles of faith. They do not believe in the pillars of Islam. They do not practice Islam. So where a person in Philadelphia came from, who cares? You're a Muslim. We don't follow that crap. Okay, where does Allah say that in order to be a Muslim, you need to go learn Kafir history? Again, this is ignorance. Where does Allah say that to be a Muslim, you have to go learn the history of Kafirs? The companions were all converts. Where did the Prophet Muhammad tell them, now that you are Muslim, we still hold on to worshiping idols? Where did the Prophet Muhammad say, remember your history as a pagan? You guys have to stop this. And that's why I'm telling you Muslims, you new shahadas, y'all have got to be careful who you learn this religion from. Because most people that talk about Islam, 99.7 of them are ignorant. They don't know nothing. And they will be calling you and leading you to the gates of hell. You're supposed to let go of your history. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you will never be a believer until you hate the idea of not being a Muslim. The Prophet Muhammad said, if you are holding on to your love of this world, but that you had before Islam, you are not a believer. So be careful, Brother Ahmed, of these uneducated people who are holding you back. You don't hold on to the history of Kafirs. That's why the Prophet said, when you convert to Islam, all your past sins are forgiven. You let that garbage go. You ain't from no Nation of Islam. You ain't no pagan worshiping Elijah Muhammad, believing that some black man is sitting in a spaceship getting ready to beam you up. That's what they believe. You let that ignorance go. You believe La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Anybody telling you to believe anything else is an idiot. And they're one of the people that fall in the category of disbelief, calling you to the gates of hell. Y'all understand that? So y'all got to stop that. We're going to talk about allegiance. Your allegiance is to Islam, not to black nationalism. Your allegiance is to Islam and to the Muslims, not to a race, not to a color. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, my brothers, my sisters, is anyone who believes La ilaha illallah, no matter what their race is, what their color is, where they come from on this earth. It ain't to an Arab. It ain't just to the tribe of Hashim. Now I'm giving you all the dalil. This is what the Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah said, not Elijah. Elijah wasn't no prophet. So for the new Shahada, you got to let go of anybody that is calling you to anything other than La ilaha illallah. Everybody understand that? So sister, whoever this sister is, I don't know where you got your information from, sister. But that's not Islam. We are not the nation of Islam here. This is the nation of Allah. Okay? Don't be calling these shahadas to that crap. Y'all see why you got to be careful. People in my Zoom room, do y'all see how we have to be careful who y'all learning from? My God. Yeah, that shirk. That's one of the signs. A good job, Khadijah. That's one of the sins of shirk, of disbelief. Okay, let's put some more questions up on the screen. Wow, I got Elijah Muhammad people coming up in here. Hey, yesterday we had the women from the women's mosque in America. We had the LGBTQ imamas yesterday. Today we got the Nation of Islam. Boy, I tell you, every day, Shaitan don't want y'all to learn the deen. Okay, let's look at our quiz, guys. Yeah, but no, stay away from those people. For the person that asked me that question, don't go to none of their meetings, none of their groups, and people are not Islam. And anybody who used to be from them will tell you they don't believe la ilaha illallah. I don't know who that person is. It's got an attitude here with Layla. That crazy stuff there. Those people making a comeback, boy. All right, here we go. Next question. And by the way, that was a good question. Next question. Look at this question. Abdullah was raised and taught Islam by parents who are Sufi. He believes in Allah, he believes in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he believes everything that his parents has taught him about Allah, about the Prophet, about Islam, about what we're supposed to do, okay? How we're supposed to pray and everything else. Even though some of the things that his parents taught him are incorrect, even though some of the things that his parents taught him to do were not correct, he still believes in everything that they've taught him about Allah, about the Prophet, about paradise and everything else. Which of the following is correct? Is number one, because some of the things that he was taught were not exactly true. Should he die, it's possible that he can die an unbeliever. Is that correct? Or is this correct? Because no one has educated him on what exactly is incorrect, he may be a sinner, but not a disbeliever. Which one of those statements is correct about him? What do y'all think? Girl, I got
second one. I'll say the second one.
Okay. Okay, the people in the Zoom said second. Good job. People on YouTube, Facebook, my God, good job. Brother Ahmed said number two. Good job. Carol, number two. On Rumble, number two. Good job. You guys are correct. It's number two. And that's what I want you guys to understand. Unless the person was raised upon something other than la ilaha illallah, you know, we can't call him a kafir because some things that he was taught is not correct. Now, how does this situation differ from the brother who was here who says they were raised upon the Nation of Islam? How does this answer differ from that one? Why is it that this brother, Abdullah, wouldn't be an unbeliever, but a person raised upon the Nation of Islam is? Can anybody tell me? What's the difference? Can anybody tell me why? Exactly. As Sister Aya said, because Abdullah was raised upon La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, which doesn't deny Allah, which doesn't deny the Prophet Muhammad as a messenger. Whereas the Nation of Islam don't raise people on none of that. They don't believe in any of that. It ain't about no La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah with them. They're no different than a white supremacist. Right, they're not even Muslim. They're just black supremacists. They're internationalism. They're not religious. Does everybody understand that? That's the big difference. Okay? Okay, let's look at the next question. And I want on my Zoom room, is Sister Layla here? I want Sister Layla to answer this question on Zoom. Which do the scholars of Islam differ about? And because of this, they are not upon disbelief. Is it the laws of Islam? Or is it belief issues? Sister Layla, is Layla? Walaikum salam.
The laws of Islam.
Good job. Good job. Exactly. Exactly. The scholars differ about the laws. They don't differ on Aqidah. And that's another reason why the Nation of Islam doesn't fit in here. They don't have Aqidah. Their belief is not ours. They don't believe La ilaha illallah. And when you're dealing with the scholars of Islam, the Aqidah is the same. They all believe in Wala wal Bara. They all believe in the articles of faith, the pillars and all of that stuff. They all believe and accept and submit to Allah's commands and everything, but they might have a different view on carrying out a law or something. They're not denying Allah's laws. And I gave y'all an example. Let's say, for example, if you were to put, and this will never happen, but I'm going to try to make it clear. Let me make my screen. Let's say, for example, you had me, you had Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atlee. You'll never have this because I'll never be with these brothers in no place. But let's say you had me, Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atlee, Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, and my teacher, Sheikh Morsi, and Dr. Jamali. All of us, our Aqidah is the same. Where none of us are going to sit here and contradict each other at all when it comes to belief issues. But we may have differences of opinions about some of the rules, some of the laws. For example, Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atlee, he will say, there's nothing wrong with you showing your face, Sister Layla. There's nothing wrong with makeup, but can you not wear red lipstick? Because to him, red lipstick is attractive. Kareem Abu Zaid may say, it would be better. It would be better. He wouldn't say I have to, but he would probably say it would be better if you cover your face. Jamali, he would say, well, there's nothing wrong with her wearing makeup or covering her face. Not covering her face. And then Sheikh Morsi would say the same thing. There's nothing wrong with Sister Layla. She looks fine. Allah loves beauty. Sister Layla, he'll go into more detail. He'll say Sister Layla's a daya. She has to sit on this internet. She has to represent all the Muslim women on earth because of the misconceptions about Muslim women. So Layla has to look her best, especially when she's giving dawah. So, but we all are the same. It's just we may differ in regards to some of the laws and some of the rules. And I put there, they didn't say it's haram. None of them would say it's haram. Because the people of knowledge, they don't use that word haram unless they got clear evidence. They would say it would be better. They would use words like that. Oh, she can wear makeup, but just don't wear red. That would be Sheikh Athlete. Oh, she don't have to cover her face, but it would be better. That would be Kareem Abu Zaid. And Jamali would be, ain't nothing wrong at all. She's okay. And Sheikh Morsi would agree with Jamali and go into more detail about how even more so, because I'm representing the other women on earth as a Muslim daya, female daya. Y'all understand? So the Aqidah, the scholars, the true scholars of Islam, they never differ on Aqidah. Sheikh Albani, may Allah be pleased with him. Sheikh Uthaymeen and Sheikh bin Baz, let's use them. Sheikh Albani, may Allah be pleased with him. He said a woman does not have to cover her face nor her hands. And he used the same dalil I use, where Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said, not only can a woman show her face, but also the makeup on her face and her jewelry, which is my nose ring too. That's what Sheikh Albani had to say about the woman's face and hands. Sheikh Uthaymeen, may Allah be pleased with him, he said, yeah, that's true. A woman doesn't have to cover her face. Yeah, she can wear makeup. We know that. But it would be best if she did cover her face, like Kareem. And then Sheikh bin Baz, he was like totally cover up completely. Okay. He would say because it's best. All right. So that's an example using real scholars that are not here with us no more. Okay. So you may come upon situations where the scholars will give their fatwas. They may differ. They only differ when it comes to the laws, but they always back it up with something. Sheikh bin Baz, he uses the hadith of Ibn Masud. Ibn Masud was the only companion that felt that a woman should cover her face completely and wear a hole in her head. None of the other companions believe that or agree with that. Okay, but the true scholars, they'll back it up with a statement from a companion. Okay, but you will never hear them say that Allah is not the creator of good and evil. That's an example. You would never hear any scholar differ as to whether or not whatever good happens comes from Allah and whatever bad happens comes from him too. These are issues of Aqidah. They never differ on that. Just rules, just laws, but never Aqidah. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Is that clear? And exactly, Pamela. Wait a minute, let me put this too. Like Pamela said, they'll tell you that that's their opinion. If you look at some of the old fatwas of Sheikh bin Baz, Sheikh Uthaymeen, and Ibn Sheikh Albani, they always say, and Allah knows best. That's why I say it. I was taught that by my teacher, who was Sheikh Qardari. Always saying Allah knows best. And they always say the most correct view. They never say 100, they'll let you know the most correct, or they'll say, I support. So when it comes to the laws and rules, they may differ, but never, ever, ever, ever the lordship of Allah. Aqidah. Y'all understand? Yeah, you got a question in that Zoom room? Go ahead.
You answered.
I can't hear you. Go ahead. You take that.
I said, thank you. Answered it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
You
say.
answered it.
Oh, okay. Good. All right. Okay. Yeah, nowadays, exactly like the brother here is saying, nowadays they don't do that. The real scholars are dead and dying off every day. A lot of these brothers y'all think are scholars are not scholars. Ain't no scholars here in America. I keep telling y'all, ain't none of these brothers in America no scholars. Care what nobody say. The real scholars are dying off like crazy, man. And they don't speak that way. They you would never hear them sitting up differing with Aqidah. And they would never, when they do differ in regards to the laws, they always bring their evidence and they will be supported by a companion. But that's why you have to know the hierarchy. Because Aisha, radiallahu anha, out trumps everybody. When it comes to women's issues in Islam, Aisha out trumps everybody, including Umar. Because she was the prophet's wife and his #1 student. If Aisha said a woman don't have to cover her face and she can wear makeup and jewelry on her face, that's the, like Sheikh Albani said, that's the end of it. We don't care what Ibn Masud said or anybody else. So that's why you have to know the hierarchy. Those scholars knew it. These brothers today don't know nothing. Okay? Many of them. Some of them do, but not that many. All right, so we understand that. The scholars don't differ with Aqidah. They just may have differences of the laws. That's it. Keep that in mind. And that's why you don't go around calling people kafirs like these brothers today do. They get mad because a scholar issues a statement that they don't like. So you're going to call him a kafir? You're going to boycott this scholar because he didn't agree with your answer? That's not how we do. Okay? If you don't want to accept his answer, then go on. You ain't got to accept it. Move on. All right. Okay, let's look at the next question. Let me give another example. Yeah, my teacher is Sheikh Morsi right now, but I'm one of my two before Sheikh, in fact, who brought Sheikh Morsi and them here to me. I learned from Umar el-Eshgar and Carter Dari. And they brought me Sheikh Morsi, who is my Abu Atayib, who is my teacher now. And who I make dua for every day, because when he died, I don't know what to do. Okay? But yeah, I learned from Umar Muhammad al-Ashqar and Carter Dari, Yusuf Carter Dari. Okay, let's see. Put the next one on here. Yeah, I'm not no newbie. All right, let's see. Next question. I'm trying to put it up so y'all can see. What about this one, guys? Let's see if you can answer this. Okay. Abdullah does not believe that Allah is the creator of good and evil. This is what he was taught by his teachers. And he holds firm to this belief, despite what other people have shown him or told him about it. He's not going to deviate away from what his teachers say. Which of the following may be true? Number one, if he does not learn the truth about Allah's lordship and dies denying any of Allah's actions of lordship, he could possibly, and we always say possibly because only Allah knows who's going to paradise and hell. He could possibly die upon disbelief. Is that true? Or is this true? As long as he has teachers and scholars that can confirm his belief, then he's okay, he's good. Or is this correct? If he is wrong in his belief about Allah being the creator of good and evil, he's just a sinful person. Which one is most correct? And I'm saying most correct, because Allah knows best with all of this. But I'm giving y'all this quiz just to try to help you to develop your understanding for yourself as to whether or not you walk in a thin line to disbelief. So these are all just scenarios. Okay, what do you guys think? Zoom, which one you think is most correct? Which one you think is most correct? And that's how the scholars answer when it's stuff that Allah knows and we don't. Which one you think could be most correct?
We think number one is most correct, inshallah.
Okay, the people in Zoom say number one. Let's see, Aya, she says number one. Rashida says number one. Okay, mashallah, Kimmy is here. Brother Timothy, good job. Brother, Sister Sandra, Bethany, Elizabeth, mashallah, y'all all got it right. I'm so proud of you. I thought y'all was gonna get this one wrong. I thought that you guys was gonna pick number two, but mashallah, you did right. Exactly. Now this case is a little different. Okay, Abdullah, he's learning from his teachers that Allah only creates good, that Allah is not the creator of evil. But somebody else has tried to correct him. They've given him the verse from the Quran where Allah says, whatever good befalls you comes from me, and whatever evil befalls you comes from me too. Y'all see that? When Allah clearly is telling us something to believe about him, and you simply disregard it because of what a man said or anyone else, now you're guilty of shirk. You've put that person over Allah, especially when the proof has been presented. Allah, it speaks a lot about how he's the creator of both good and evil. The Prophet Muhammad speaks about how Allah is a creator of good and evil. But if you still, after being presented with the evidence, choose to reject it because of your love for your teacher, this falls in a category of another sin. What's that sin called? Who can remember? I'm going to take what my teacher says over what Allah says, over what the Prophet said. What sin is that? Who can remember? What sin is that? Good job, Brother Edward. It's called blind following. We don't blindly follow anyone. Whenever you take somebody's opinion over what Allah has clearly revealed, this is blindly following. And that will put you in the category of disbelief. Okay, good job. Let's look at another question. What about this? Abdul, he lives in a city that is filled with so much sin that he finds himself indulging in the sin. Which of the following is true? Number one, he needs to try to move away if he can. And if he is able to move away, but he refuses to move and stays, and he continues to commit sin, then this could possibly be disbelief for him. Is that statement true? Or is this statement true? Abdul lives in a city filled with sin so much that he finds himself indulging in the sin. He doesn't have to leave. He doesn't have to move at all. He just needs to try to remain strong. Which one is correct?
One.
Okay, and can you tell me why? Why is one most correct?
One is correct because when his time has passed and the angels come, they're gonna ask him basically if he moved. I can't remember the exact
That's
words,
it.
but
You
whether or
got
not
it.
he did everything he could do in order to avoid it.
Exactly. She got it. That's the authentic hadith. And that's also a verse of the Quran. When Allah has your soul pulled from your throat, the angels are going to ask you, why didn't you try to move away? Why didn't you try to leave that environment? That's why I was telling you guys yesterday. And by the way, those women are here. When those women from that women's mosque in LA asked me to send me a plane ticket, I told them I ain't coming near you. We don't go near evil. Allah says in the Quran, do not go near evil. Do not put yourself in a situation that can invite you or open a door to evil. And it ain't about no dawah. It ain't about no dawah. Because my dawah is right here in my home, on the internet, where I'm safe. Allah says stay in your houses because your homes are safe for you. I'm protecting myself from your evil, and I'm protecting you from mine. If I leave outside my house, what guarantee do I have that if I were to go to LA to that women's mosque with all those LGBTQ feminists, that I won't succumb and become a feminist too, or become a stud too? I mean, life happens. Shaitan is going to test you. Your personal jinn is going to do everything in its power to take you to hell. So that's why Allah says, don't go near it. Don't put yourself in that situation. If those women want to learn from me, which they all in here, they can come to my classes on the internet. I ain't going to your mosque. I don't know you, bunch of women thinking that y'all men. You're going to come up with looking like concrete, what you call them people, construction workers, taking me down, putting me on the floor. I ain't putting myself in no situation to be taken advantage of. Okay? So no, not even for dawah do we put ourselves in situations like that. Allah says don't go near evil. You want to learn about Islam from me? My website is open 24 hours and I'm here every day. But don't, you ain't gonna have the advantage over me. Bunch of stud women hold me down. Seriously. Okay, and the sister here said not all the women are lesbians. Oh my God. I don't even want to hear about this mosque no more. She said we're equal opportunists, as you say. Equal opportunists. I want to see how much of an equal opportunist you women gonna be when that angel pulls your throat. You ain't gonna equal opportune Layla. Yeah, so again, we supposed to move. If you're surrounded by sinful stuff like that and it's playing on you, you got to get away from there if you can. But if you can't move, then that's different. Okay, what about this question? This will be the last one for today because we got another class. What about this? Oh, wait a minute, what happened? Oh, wait a minute, y'all, I lost my question. Where is it at? What happened? Oh, hold on, guys, my question went crazy. Here it is, but this is it. Oh no, I'm hitting the wrong computer, that's why. Hold on, let me get to it. I want to do that last one for today, and I want to say the other 3 for tomorrow. Here it is. We got 3 more I'm going to say for tomorrow. What about this? How does trying to answer questions about Islam when you are not qualified, how does that fall in the category of disbelief? Can anyone tell us? I got these sisters in here going crazy. The mamas.
Is it because you're trying to be innovative or be an innovator?
how does it fall into, does innovation fall into the sin of disbelief? How does trying to answer questions when you are not qualified fall? What makes that fall in the category of disbelief? Anybody? This is easy. Look at the question. The answer is right there in the question. Why is it disbelief to issue Islamic verdicts when I'm not qualified? Why is that a form of disbelief, guys? Okay, Sister Aya. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Geechee.
Speaking on something that you don't know about.
Exactly. You're speaking about a law without knowledge. That's the category of speaking about a law without knowledge. Good job, Sister A-Kids. Okay, the sister is from the Women's Mosque in LA. She says not being qualified with your certificates. No, certificates has nothing to do with it. It's all about knowing your deen. Being able to back up what you say with evidence from the Quran. Being able to back up what you say with evidence from the Prophet Muhammad through the authentic hadiths. Not about making up your own rules because you got a PhD in theology. You think that makes you an Islamic scholar. And that you say that makes you able to issue Islamic verdicts like you women are doing in LA, which is wrong. I keep telling you, sisters, that's haram. You ain't qualified. You ain't no scholar. The simple fact that you think that you can lead men in prayer, that shows that you are not a scholar of this religion, sister. That shows that you are not qualified to teach this religion. You don't even know your place as a woman. All right. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here for today. There's 3 other questions that I'm going to ask you tomorrow. And then tomorrow, I'm going to go over some more sins that may or may not be sins of disbelief, depending on the person and the scenario. Okay? Also, let me also remind everybody, we have another class in 2 minutes. I'm getting ready to log out. Brother Muhammad Ziyada is here. He's going to speak about the power of words, how we have to be so careful with the words that we use, because the words that we use will come back and bite us. Okay? So I'm getting ready to log out, then I'm logging back in. And also, I did post up, for those of you who have the new book, Metcalf Siddiq Tafsir Volume 2, I'm going to be covering pages 3 through 7 today at 9:30. So I'm getting ready to log out now. Y'all look for the next stream that's getting ready to come on. So I got to close this one. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Girl, they in here. Fresno, those